And what's happening right now is scientists are just all being driven out of this space. I work with a lot of scientists, and the scientists that are really good are really willing to live on very little money. And it's not a good lifestyle unless you really actually care that much about the science. And a lot of people do, and so they keep doing it, but they're really pretty bad off, in my opinion. So my interest in academia just slowly dropped the whole time I was in academia. So I talked about the opportunity cost, and really that's the most important thing. Bitcoin is just a better opportunity than a PhD. So my story with Bitcoin is, so I discovered Bitcoin in 2011, and it was just a hobby of mine for a long time. Last year, like I showed those exponential curves earlier. Bitcoin just keeps exploding this whole time. In 2011, it exploded so much, I started to realize, I don't know why I'm treating this as a hobby. This should be my career. This is an opportunity for, to be a part of a new industry that, like the internet or something like that, where I can be in at the ground floor of this entire new industry, have a say in what's going to happen in this industry, and make a name for myself in this new space. So in early 2011, I basically spent more and more time just focused on Bitcoin. I spent a lot of time reading news and stuff like that. I started trying to figure out what I could do in Bitcoin. So one of the things I did was literally research. I had a history of being a web developer, so I thought that I was probably going to do web development. So I researched the technologies I didn't know. And the most important thing that I didn't already know was JavaScript. I knew things like HTML and CSS, if you guys are technical at all. I knew that stuff, I knew programming, but I just didn't know the language of JavaScript. So I studied JavaScript. This was literally last summer, and I just dedicated all my time to mastering JavaScript. And so I was trying to figure out what I could do in the Bitcoin space, and I decided, I was living in St. Louis, which is where I was getting my PhD. And I decided I wanted to move to Panama. So I did I was like, this is the perfect place to go. I'm going to go to Panama. I'm going to start a business in Panama because the taxes are low there. You can get a second passport in Panama. It's a beautiful country. It'd be so awesome to live in Panama. So I literally had my bags packed and was ready to go to Panama when I was contacted by a recruiter from BitPay. And the recruiter found me via people that I had met at a Bitcoin conference early on, last May. So it was just this very fortunate series of events, and BitPay is all based on JavaScript, which was the technology I had been dedicating myself to studying this whole summer. So I was like, okay, I've mastered exactly the right skills for this job. So I interviewed, people liked me, and I got an offer from BitPay. And since I was literally had my bags packed, ready to go to Panama, I drove down to Atlanta in less than 24 hours. So as soon as they gave me an offer, they're like, can you fax us this contract? And I said, no, I'll just bring it to you. So I just literally got in my car at that moment and drove to Nashville, because that's in the middle, and stayed in Nashville, drove to Atlanta the next day, and have been in Atlanta since then, basically.